Hello comic book fans, it's Wednesday, that means it's comic book day. Let's see what I got. First up is Batman and Robin Eternal number 24. Batman's allies, all of his sidekicks, and all of the sometimes people he teams up with here and there, are all banding together to try to take down a terrorist by the name of Mother. She's using mind-controlling technology to control anyone under the age of 18 to rise up and kill their own parents. And Batman, who's dead, kind of dead, not really dead, we won't go into that, isn't there, but all of his sidekicks and all of the people he's allies with are there to help him out. We get the beginnings of a really cool battle between Agent Grayson and Azrael. Hopefully in the next issue we'll be able to see that played out. All New X-Men issue number 6. The younger X-Men who have formed this all new X-Men group are taking on the Blob. And unfortunately this battle's been played out for 3 issues. At this point I'm kind of over it. Luckily they do conclude it in this one. Power Man and Iron Fist issue number 2. Story-wise I'm liking this a lot. I love the idea that Luke Cage kind of called it quits in the whole superhero business, and his best romantic buddy Iron Fist is saying, hey, why don't you come back and partner up with me again? A lot of villains who have not shown up in the Marvel Universe in some time are starting to make their appearances in this comic book. There's a lot of action mixed into it as well as a lot of humor, which is a good combination of the two of them. The only downside is the art. I'm just not a fan of it. I just can't really get into it. It almost feels as though it's comic strip art that you would see in a daily newspaper and not something in a comic book. But I'll get over it and continue on reading the story. Like I said, it is really well written. Next up, I got the Infinity Entity issue number 2. This storyline is based around Adam Warlock, who has lost all of his memories. He's going through a whole timey-wimey thing where he's transporting himself anywhere in the universe at any time. Even though Thanos is on the cover of this issue, he doesn't play a big role in it. In fact, the big role is played out by the cosmic entities of the universe. Whatever the big storyline is going to be, I hope it is very epic. Adam Warlock is one of the coolest characters in the entire Marvel Universe. Finally, I got Transformers Deviations. I'm a huge fan of Transformers, even though I only read their comic books sporadically here and there, but this issue I made it a point to make sure to read it. This takes place during the Transformers cartoon animated movie back in the 80s. But this is like an Elseworld / what if comic book of what happens if Optimus Prime did not die. It's a different take as to what would have happened had Rodimus Prime not interfered during the big battle between Optimus and Megatron. This was a good story in a different direction they took, but it was too condensed. I know that the Deviations storylines going through all of the IDW universe is only supposed to be just 1 issue, but still, this is something I feel like could have been expanded into 3 or 4 issues. I think it was a really interesting read and a really cool alternate universe that could be explored in future comic books, being that there is an ongoing comic book for Transformers. In fact, there's 2 Transformer ongoing comic books, so this could definitely be explored later on. Now that I think about it, there are a lot of comic books out there that are based on Transformers. But anyways, that's my comic load for this week. What did you guys get? Leave comments down below. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me in this comic book review, and I'll join you guys for another one very soon. Be sure to check out my Patreon site, my website, my social media sites, and everything else out there. Peace, people.